as very, very clear. We do live in not only a turbulent world, but a world in which people feel that those who are in authority in many countries don't know what to do. Or if they know what to do, they don't know how to do it. The Philippines is one happy exception. As already been noted, your growth rates are about the highest in the world right now, even though they've slowed a little bit this year. They're much better than just about most any other country in the world. And so that's why it's such a delight to have the conference here, where things are, compared to the rest of the world, going well. You have elections coming up next year, as does my country, the United States. But around the world and in the US and most countries, there's a great deal of frustration, anger about the slow growth and no growth economies we have. In the US, median incomes are lower today than they were in 2007. Officially, we've been out of a recession for 6 years, and yet the economy still seems to be mired in a recession. 60% of Americans polled think the US is still in a recession, even though our growth rates are about 2%. So there's contempt for political leaders, and you see that erupting in the United States with already what you've seen on the Republican side and Democrat side for the presidential race. On the Republican side, you've already all well know about the rise of Donald Trump. And yes, it's a source of entertainment to some, but it does. And by the way, when he announced his candidacy, political pundits thought that the political culture would force him to adapt away from reality TV. It's been the opposite. Reality TV has taken over the political culture. So Trump personifies this anger and contempt out there. It's not what he stands for, it's the fact that people already knew him from television. They felt that he was a man who could get things done. As we say in the US, kick butt. He was outspoken. They liked that. They didn't care what he was saying. They loved the fact that he was saying it. And that he was just so unpolitical. He was totally unscripted. But the top three on the Republican side, so you have Trump, then you have a man, a former brain surgeon, who achieved fame by criticizing the president at a prayer breakfast. He's number two. And number three is a former executive, Carly Fiorina, who has achieved some fame by her criticisms of Hillary Clinton. Those are the top three candidates. They have over 50% between them of the voters so far in the Republican primary. The two semi-outsiders are two freshman senators, Senator Cruz of Texas and Senator Rubio of Florida. They think they have a chance to move up. They are both contenders. So it's outsider time, and the one who has suffered the most is the former governor of Florida, Jeb Bush. And I'm being blunt here since I'm not running for anything or seeking anything. And if any of you don't like what I say, just remember we're sponsoring this conference, so it's nice. And so I think you're starting to see that transformation in the second debate. But at the end of this month, the Republicans will have a third debate. All of the candidates be much more assertive, much more outspoken, because they know if they don't break through, their candidacies are going to go by the wayside. Now, Trump is slumping a little bit, especially in the early states where we have caucuses and primaries like Iowa and New Hampshire. He is so far, even though he's a billionaire, we say he's worth $4.5 billion, so naturally he says 10. And leave that subject for another time. But he has so far spent virtually no money on his campaign. He's hired very few people, and the money he spent, most of it's to reimburse himself for using his own airplane. So, very, very unusual campaign. No ads have been scheduled. Only a few people have been hired for his field force. And yet so far, he's been up front. And the perceived faltering of former Governor Bush is why people like Governor Christie of New Jersey and Governor Kasich of Ohio think that they're going to have a chance to have a real breakthrough. Christie, for example, is putting a lot of money now in Iowa, where he was not seen as competitive. So it's seen as wide open, and it is very fluid. Now, while the attention has been focused on the Republicans, the Democrats have a very peculiar race. Hillary Clinton, this was supposed to be for Secretary Clinton, a coronation, but the carriage broke down. It's probably the worst run campaign, except for Governor Romney's, in modern times. And you see it in the way she's handled that email scandal. It just goes on and on and on. And you see it too in her primary and in her main opponent, a fellow named Bernie Sanders. He's a U.S. Senator from the state of Vermont.